And we'll get started in our seated, comfortable position. You can sit on a blanket or even a block if you have one. Sometimes it's nice to sit up a little bit so we're not compressing into our hips so much. And then let's make sure this is on. Okay, let's just settle in here. Close your eyes. Start to connect with your breath. Just watch the breath come in and out through the nose. Notice the breath as it comes in through the nostrils and then travels down over the vocal cords, fills into the chest and the belly. And then watch it again as it travels back up and out. Take your shoulders up to your ears. Take the heads of the shoulders back and float them down. And feel the sit bones root down into the earth and the crown of your head rising up toward the sky. Just making your connection into the earth. And just notice the spine lengthen. You can even have your hands on your knees, kind of gently pull on your knees to lift the chest. And we'll continue with our breath work. So breathing in and out. Relax your jaw, soften your temples. And we'll take our hands behind our ears, slightly behind our ears, kind of outside and behind the ears. And then take a breath in. And as you exhale, bring your palms together. So your thumbs will come right between your eyebrows at your third eye. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, take your thumbs right to your heart center, to your sternum. Let's do it again. Hands behind your ears. Breath in. Now as you exhale, we're collecting our thoughts, quieting the mind. Breath in. And then exhale, thumbs come to your heart center. Offer your thoughts to your heart. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. Exhale, quiet the mind. Collect your thoughts. Inhale here. And then exhale, offer your thoughts to your heart. So just an effort to kind of get out of our head, slow everything down, and lead more from the heart than our head. All right, let's take our hands back onto our lap. And we're gonna just take it, we're gonna add a couple twists here. So we're gonna inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, twist over to the right. So you can take your left hand onto your right knee and your right hand behind you. Inhale, reach the crown of your head up. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and twist. One more time, inhale. Grow the spine long on your inhalations. And then as you exhale, maybe you can twist a little bit deeper. And then come on back to center. We'll inhale the arms back up and exhale over to the left. So it helps to get your backhand kind of close to your tailbone. And that's going to help as you press your fingertips into your mat, you can lengthen through the spine. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And then again, nice and long through the spine. Exhale, twist. And then you can come back to center. And we're just going to flow through the twists a few times. So we don't have to reach the arms up. So we're going to inhale to the right, exhale, twist. Inhale to the left, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale, twist. And let's do that one more time on each side. Inhale and twist. And come on back to the other side. And twist. And then just come back to center. Okay. So let's get a strap. So you can have a loop or no loop. And we're going to just take the strap out in front. I'm going to use no loop right now. So we're going to take the strap out in front. If you have a loop, I actually have both here, just so I can show you. I do have extra straps if anybody wants one. So we can take if you have a loop, you can take your arms out and have the strap like this. So right now we're just going to kind of take the strap either in the loop, or actually I keep it in the loop right now. And then we're going to reach the arms out in front. And then inhale and reach your arms up. And take the shoulders down away from your ears. So if you're in your loop, you're pushing your wrists into your strap. If you've got the strap, just you're holding on to it, you can even just take a hold of it and even turn your hands out a little bit. So we're really trying to open up the shoulders. Inhale, exhale. Feel the shoulder blades moving apart. One more breath. And then let's bring the arms down. And just move the strap to the side. Now switch your legs around. And we're going to inhale, twist over to the right again. Exhale, twist. Inhale to the left. Exhale, twist. Inhale, just flow through. Go at your own pace. Inhale and twist. Inhale and twist. And one more. And twist. And then come on back to center. All right. So let's bring our arms out to the sides. So we're reaching the arms really long. Reach through your fingertips. And then we'll cross the right elbow under the left. And you can take a hold of your shoulders. Or maybe you can bring the backs of your hands together. Or you can even bring your palms together. You can maybe just even hold on to your thumb. Wherever you can go here. We're going to press the elbows up and forward. Inhaling and exhaling. Take your low belly in and up. So activate your core. Inhale and exhale. Pressing the elbows forward and up. We draw the navel in and up. And then let's switch. So take your arms apart. Let's switch legs again. So bring the other foot in front. Arms extend out. And then we'll take the left under the right. And you can hold on to your shoulders right here, or you can bring your palms together, or somewhere in between that. Inhale, press the elbows up and away. So we take the shoulders away from our ears. So keeping the chest lifted, and then draw your navel in and up. So you feel a nice strong core here. Inhale and exhale. And then uncross. All right. Let's take the right arm over to the right, and we'll reach the left arm up. We're going to reach over to the right. So keep the left sit bone pressing down. And you can inhale, press the sit bone into the mat, and then reach through your fingertips. Inhale, feel the side body, get nice and long. Nice deep stretch. One more breath. And then we're going to come up. And we'll do that on the other side. So we'll walk the left hand out. Inhale the right arm up. And then we're going to take the arm over. You can just let your head drop towards your shoulder. Press away with your right hip. Inhale. Exhale. So it should feel nice, okay, this nice stretch in the side body. And then carefully come up. And let's switch our legs around again. All right, now we're gonna walk the right hand out again. We'll take the right ear to the right shoulder. This time the left arm is gonna go out to the left. So we still wanna keep both sit bones on the mat. We're gonna reach the arm back and down. Inhale. Exhale. Nice big stretch. We're getting into the shoulders, nice and deep here. And then slowly take your right hand onto your ear. We're going to come up nice and slow. And sit here and notice your neck. Just notice how it feels. And then we're going to do that on the other side. So left ear, left shoulder, walk the left hand out. We'll take the right arm out. Maybe down, maybe back. And finding that sweet spot, finding that big stretch in your upper trapezius muscle. Breathing into any area that feels a little tight or maybe a little sore. Again, this usually feels nice, but we don't want to make it so intense that it's painful. This is a nice stretch, getting into the connective tissue. And we'll take our left hand onto our ear and carefully come up. Again, sit up nice and tall and just notice the right from the left. All right, so we're gonna come on to our hands and knees, but just for a sec, we're gonna slide the right knee in front of the left. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you can just switch your seated position. And so you may need to sit back on a blanket or a block. It's not always easy to get into this pose. So ideally, your right knee is on top of your left. And if you can, sit on a block or a blanket or even a pillow. And if this is too much, you can just keep the front leg, actually probably the bottom leg straight and the top leg will be over. Or you can go back to Sukhasana, which we were just in. So again, find what works for you. Now we're going to get our strap. And we're going to take the strap around the right wrist. Yes, the right leg's on top. So we're going to take the strap around the right wrist. And we're going to reach the arm out, take a hold of our strap, and reach up. And then we're going to bend at the elbow. We're going to just help it along a little bit. See if you can kind of get the elbow to straighten. Take your hand on your tricep, turn your tricep toward the front of the room. And then we'll take the left arm out. So your thumb is down, so your palm is facing the back of your mat, and then you're going to reach around and find your strap behind you. Keep the chest lifted. So it's easy to lean forward in this pose. You want to keep the chest lifted. Draw the right hand down and the left hand up. Chest stays lifted. And breathe. Come back to your breath. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. Opening up the chest. And then we're going to release. Put the strap aside. Carefully come forward. Slide the right leg back. And then we're going to take the left knee in front this time. And again, don't be afraid to sit on something. I'm going to sit on my blanket this time. And if this doesn't work for you, there's options. Because this is, again, this is hard on the hips. So you can always just take the bottom leg straight. Or you can keep this foot in front. Or come back to Sukhasana. If your knees are stacked, try to get the top knee around the bottom. And maybe some of you might even be able to take your feet out a little bit. So we do this lying down a lot. We'll probably do it later in our practice. A lot harder this way. If you can really feel this in the hips, we're getting into the connective tissue. All right, so we'll take the strap around the right wrist. Oh, I'm sorry, left wrist. Reach your arm up and back. All right, so we're going to get a hold of the elbow and try to get that arm nice and long. And then we're going to take the tricep and turn it toward the front. And then we're going to take our thumb down, right thumb, come on out behind you, and then hold on to your strap. Pull up with the top and down with the bottom. Keep the chest lifted. Breathe here. Open the chest. Notice what's going on with your hips. If it's too painful, you can take an alternative. One more breath. Pull down as you pull up. And then we'll release. Put the strap aside. Come back onto your hands and knees. And while you're on your hands and knees, go ahead and take a couple cat-cows here. So shoulders will be over your wrists, hips are over your knees. Take your tailbone towards your knees, push the floor away from you. And then we'll turn the tailbone up. Crown of the head draws toward the sky, broaden across your collarbones. And let's do that one more time. Exhale to cat pose. Inhale to cow. And one more time. Exhale, cat. It might feel good to wiggle your hips a little bit. Inhale back to cow. Come back to neutral spine, and we're going to make our way back into a seat. Sitting lengthwise on your mat. Keep your strap nearby. And we're going to lower down onto our backs. And it might feel good to put your head on a blanket. If you don't have one, it's okay. Just kind of notice if it bothers, if you feel like your chin is too far up though, it's nice to have a blanket underneath your head so your chin's kind of drawing towards your chest. You don't want it so high that your chin is going into your chest. So just a nice long spine. That's what we're looking for. All right, let's bring our feet together and reach your arms overhead. Flex your toes towards your shins. Hook your thumbs together. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, press your heels away as you reach through your fingertips. Low belly is going to draw up towards your chin. Inhale, just let that go. Exhale, press and reach. Inhale, release. Switch the grip on the thumbs. Exhale, press and reach. Switch the grip on your thumb. Inhale. Exhale again. Press and reach. And one more time. Inhale, switch the grip. Exhale, reach. And then go ahead and bring your hands down by your hips. All right, let's bend the right knee. Clasp around your right shin. Just for right now, we're going to take the right knee over toward the right shoulder. So we're going to get it off the belly. And then we're going to extend through the left leg nice and long. And gently press your right knee towards your right shoulder as you extend through the left leg. The left leg is active. Now take your tailbone toward the mat and breathe here. Hugging the knee down. You might feel a little pinching sensation in your hip flexor. The more you take your tailbone into your mat, the more you'll feel that sensation. Flex both feet. And breathe. All right, now we're going to just release the grip. Take your left hand onto your right knee, and we're going to go over into a twist. So the right arm will come out, and you can lengthen through your left leg. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Take your knee over to the left. If you notice that your right shoulder is popping up, you can take your left shoulder up a little bit and get the right shoulder down. So we'd like both shoulders on the mat and your chest stays lifted. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, press through the left heel. Exhale, nice deep twist through your spine. And then bring your knee up. We'll release that foot to the edge of the mat. All right, left knee's gonna come up. We're gonna clasp around the shin. And we're gonna take the knee over toward the shoulder. And again, that's just to get it off the belly, off the internal organs. We're gonna press down. So squeezing the knee toward the shoulder. Flex both feet. And take your tailbone towards your mat. Right leg is super long and strong and active. Inhale, exhale. And then we're going to release. We'll take the right hand on the knee. And as we exhale, twist over to the right. Now the left shoulder might pop up, so you can take your right, the left shoulder might pop up. So take your right shoulder up and try to scoot the left shoulder back down. Left arm extends out. Inhale, press through your right heel. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And then bring your knee up. And we'll float that foot to the wall. Not to the wall. How long have I taught it a wall? To the edge of your mat. All right, so now we're going to hug the right knee back up. We're going to clasp around the shin again. It's okay, you can keep it right up over the belly for a little bit. You can scoot it over to the right a little bit, but we're not going to press down as hard. Then we're going to take our forehead toward our knee. So you're going to press through your left heel as you draw your forehead towards your knee. Now, if that doesn't work for your knee, you can bring your head back down. I don't know what that was. Lily must have knocked something off the table. Exhale, forehead towards your shin. Press through your left heel. Rounding into a forward bend. And then let's come down. Release the right foot to the edge of your mat. The shoulders come down. All right, left knee is going to come up. Clasp around the left shin. Flex your feet, and we're going to draw forehead toward the left knee as we extend through the right leg. Hug it in. And then release. All right, this time we're going to go with our breath. One breath, one movement. So we're going to exhale the right knee up. Forehead comes to the knee. Inhale, release. Exhale, left knee up. Inhale, release. Let's do that one more on each side. Exhale, right knee up. Forehead comes up if possible. Inhale and let it go. And then exhale. And then release. And just stay here. Now we're going to bring both knees up. You can clasp around both knees, interlace your fingers, or just hold on to your wrists. We're going to hug the knees in toward our chest. And then take your forehead to your knees. So now it's both knees. Hug it in as best as you can. Squeeze everything in. And then we'll inhale and release. Let your heels float to the edge of your mat. And if you want, you can bring your arms overhead. So we're going to go with our breath again here. So we're going to exhale, hug everything in. Inhale, lengthen. Float the feet to the edge of your mat, reach through your fingertips. Or you can just keep your hands on your hips. Exhale, hug everything in. Inhale and release. Exhale, hug. Inhale, release. Let's do one more. Exhale, hug it in. And then with control, let your feet glide to the edge of your mat and place them down. And then bring your hands down onto your belly. All right, so we're going to take our knees back into our chest. This time we're going to hug the knees in. Just like we did, the shoulders are going to stay down. We're going to take the knees over toward the right. So just far enough so where you won't fall. So just you're almost kind of teetering. And then bring your hips back. And we'll do that on the other side. Over to the left, just to that point where you feel like you might fall, and then come back. And you're just going to rock from side to side like that at your own pace. Giving yourself a massage on your low back. So really pressing your back, your spine into your mat. Working out any tightness that you might have back there. Let's do that one more time on each side. And then come on back to center. And place your feet down onto your mat. And we'll find a strap. So we're going to take our strap. We're going to take it around the right heel and extend the left leg out. Oops. So if you have a loop, you can have your loop. I'll demonstrate this way, and then I'll do the strap on the other side. So we got the strap just above the right heel. The left leg is long, and we want the leg straight. So if you're pulling it too far forward where your knee's bending, take it out a little bit farther away from you. Flex your feet. Now lock your shoulders down into your mat. So we keep the chest lifted here. And then we're going to take our right thigh bone away from our chin. And then the low belly toward our chin. And we're flexing through the feet. Now the left leg is active. So we're trying to get the left inner thigh rotating down toward the floor, towards your mat. And just gently draw on your strap. Pull it down as you press your heel in. Right thigh bone presses away. And then take your belly in and up. Press your heel. So you should be feeling this. So this is a hamstring stretch. You should be feeling this in your hamstrings. So that's why if your knee's bent, you're not going to get that stretch. So that's why it's better to take it farther away and get the stretch in your hamstring. All right, let's switch sides. So you can take the strap around the left heel. And so if you're using a loop, you guys know what to do, obviously, if you're using a loop. So it's the same idea. We just have one hand. So we're holding onto the loop. We're going to lock the left shoulder down. With two sides of the strap, you're locking both shoulders down. So we're taking the left thigh bone away from our chin, extending through the right leg. The right inner thigh is pressing toward the floor. So it's as if your right pinky toe is pointing straight up. And again, where's your leg? Is your knee bent? Then take your leg a little straighter. And sometimes you don't even know, like I notice if I watch any of the recordings, sometimes I notice my leg isn't as straight as it really should be. So we're taking the left thigh bone away, and the low belly draws up. Keep your chest lifted. Pull down on the strap, and then press your heel into the strap. All right, then we're going to switch again. So now the strap's going to go around the right heel. Left leg goes long. This time both ends of the strap or your loop come into your left hand. And then we're going to take our right thumb and dig it right into the right hip crease. And then push the hip away. Inhale. Exhale, take your heel over in line with your left shoulder. So we're pushing that right thigh bone away with the thumb, maybe the heel of our hand. And then the low belly draws up toward the chin. We're extending through the left foot. Keep the chest lifted. Try to lock the left shoulder down. Chest stays lifted. Left leg is strong. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of stuff to remember. One more breath. Maybe a little bit more of the leg. You can press it away as you take your low belly in and up. Inhale. Exhale, bring your leg up, and let's switch sides. So the strap's going to come around the left heel, and then both ends of the strap into your right hand. Send your right leg nice and long. Left thumb comes into your left hip crease. Inhale here. Exhale, take your left heel over in line with your right shoulder. We're pressing that left thigh bone away. That's why the hand is there. We're pressing it away. to create some traction in the low back. Now take your right pinky toe toward the sky. Inhale. Exhale. Open the chest, lift the chest. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath. Inhale here. Exhale, take the leg back up and remove the strap. All right, so now we can take a blanket or a block, place it to the outside of our right hip. Or even a pillow will work. And then we'll take the strap back around the right hip. All right, I do feel a sneeze coming on. Okay, so we'll see what happens here. All right, flex your foot. The straps are on the right heel. Take your left hand onto your left hip bone. Extend through your left leg. Flex the foot. Inhale, both ends of the strap are in your right hand. And as you exhale, lower your right leg out to the right, keeping that left hip drawing down toward the floor. So the outer edge of your right foot is parallel to the floor. Chest stays lifted. Low belly draws in and up. Now pull the strap into your foot and then press your foot into your strap. Chest stays lifted. Breathe here. Now the left leg, what's happening with your left leg? We want to keep that long and strong. Left toes are pointing up, left inner thigh draws towards the mat. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring your leg up. And then we'll switch sides. So if you have a blanket or a block, you're going to switch it to the other side. And we'll take both ends of the strap into our left hand. Right leg goes long. Right hand on your right hip bone. Flex both feet. Inhale, keep the chest lifted. Exhale, lower your leg out to the left. I'm going to pull that right hip down. And then press your heel into your strap and your strap into your heel. It's really feeling that leg energized. Feeling this in the inner thigh into your adductors. And then again, what's going on with your right leg? Let that right pinky toe pointing up. So we're getting the internal rotation of the leg. So what we're really trying to avoid is the right leg explaying out. Right? We don't want it splaying out to the right. We want the toes up nice and straight. And then we're pulling the right hip. So really creating some space here. The low belly draws in and up. Inhale. Exhale, bring your heel up. And let's remove the strap. You can put the strap and the blanket aside for right now. And then take your legs to the edge of your mat. And just notice how that feels. How does it feel in your hips, your inner thighs? All right, let's bend the knees. And then lift your tailbone and just kind of take your tailbone towards your heels to, again, if just in case our hips kind of moved in one direction or the other. We want to keep the spine long. And we're going to walk the right foot over and let the right knee drop in toward the left foot. And check in here. How does this feel? If you want, you can take your left foot onto your right thigh. And then we check our alignment. Is our right knee in line with our right shoulder? Look up, make that adjustment, and come back down. Then you can go from here if you want to take your right arm overhead. And then maybe take a hold of your right wrist with your left thumb and forefinger. Inhale, reach. Maybe drag your left heel down your right thigh to get a little bit more length in the quad. So we're going into the quadricep, into our psoas, and into the upper attachment of the psoas if your arm is overhead. And then let's uncross. And we'll do it on the other side. Slide the left foot over, so the left knee drops in towards your right foot. And then we start to just adjust from here. If this is enough for you, stay here. You can take your right foot onto your left thigh. And then we want to check our alignment. So our left knee's in line with our left shoulder. All right, then maybe take the left arm overhead, take a hold of the wrist. You could gently draw the left arm up. And maybe even drag your right heel down. So that left hip pops way up. That's okay. We wanted to do that. Keep breathing. And then let's uncross and bring your knees up. All right, now we're going to take the right knee out this time. So it's going to drop over to the right, and we're going to slide the right foot behind our left heel. So things you can do here, you can take your blanket if you want, or a block, and you can put it underneath your hip again, if that feels like it's a little too much on your hip. You can take your left heel in front of your right shin for Sukhasana, or maybe you can take your left foot onto your right thigh for a double pigeon. And flex both feet if you're in double pigeon. So just kind of notice again, if this is too much, there's some various options here. You can always just take the left foot straight, left leg straight. And then you can add on if you want to take your arms overhead. Lift the chest. Breathe here. Take one more breath. And then uncross and switch sides. So feet are parallel with each other to start. We're going to slide take the left knee over to the left. It just drops over. Then we slide the right foot over toward the left heel, just kind of behind that left heel. Then again, put something, if you want, put something under your leg, a block or a blanket under the left hip. And then go from here. Maybe just keep your right foot where it is. You can bring your right heel in front of your left shin. That might be enough for you. We're opening up the hips. This is external rotation. Or maybe you can take your right foot on your left thigh and let that right knee drop out. So both feet would be flexed in this pose in double pigeon. And then maybe take the arms overhead. You can even hold on to your opposite elbows. Or even take your arms a little wider. Lift the chest. And breathe. And just check in. How does this feel? What does your body need in this pose? There's lots of variations that you can take here. Sometimes just a minor adjustment makes it that much more accessible. And let's uncross. And then take both legs straight again. And check in. How does this feel? And if you want, you could hug your knees in, maybe take a happy baby, just whatever feels good. Just kind of stretch out here. And then we're going to roll over to one side and come onto our hands and knees. And then we're going to take a block or a pillow. We're going to slide it underneath and we're going to sit back in Virasana. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you can come into a lunge because then we're going to take our right foot forward. So again, if this doesn't work for your leg, then you'll come into a lunge like this. Okay, we're going to work the same muscle, just a little differently. We're going to do some chest openers and a couple back bends. So we're going to open up the front of our body a little bit more. So I think I'll turn this way. All right. So if you're in your lunge, you're taking your tailbone towards your front heel. If you're on your block, we're going to bring our hands back. So our fingers are pointing toward us. We're going to lift the chest. Now just carefully lift your tailbone. Take your low belly up towards your chest and then lower back down. So you're going to feel a little bit more stretch in that right quadricep. Actually your left. All right, so now if you can, get onto your forearms, you can move the block out of the way and come down a little bit farther. And then you're going to lift your tailbone, make that adjustment. You're going to feel that big stretch, a pretty big stretch in your quadricep. And some of you might be able to go all the way down onto your backs. Just go where you can go. Once your knee starts popping up, that's a good sign that you're where you should be. You shouldn't go much farther than that. One more breath. And then carefully make your way up. And we'll switch sides. Come on to your hands and knees. Now we'll take the left foot forward. All right, actually, let's start seated in Virasana. And we'll take the left foot forward. You're going to come into your lunge. All right, so check in wherever you are. Maybe you can lean back. Lift your tailbone, low belly draws up, and then lower it back down. Keep the chest lifted. And then maybe, if you can go farther, make sure you take the block out. And come onto your forearms. Onto your forearms. We'll still take the tailbone up, make the adjustment, and lower back down. And breathe into this. Again, we're waking up, opening up the quads a little bit more, the quadriceps. If it feels okay, you can always put your right foot on your left thigh like we do in that internal rotation pose that we do. And then slowly come on up. Come back onto your hands and knees. All right. And then let's take another cat-cow here. Take your tailbone towards your knees. Push the floor away from you. For cat pose. And then go into cow. Just flow through that a couple times at your own pace. Excuse me while I blow my nose. I love the Santa Ana weather, but man, it kills me. All right, one more cat-cow. And then come into cow pose where your tailbone is turning up. Stay there, turn your toes under and lift into downward facing dog. Keep your knees bent right now. Wiggle your chest to your thighs. Spread your fingers wide, look at your knees. Get your tailbone a little bit higher. Then you can maybe straighten your legs. Lower your heels closer to the mat. Broaden across your shoulders. Bend your right knee, press to your left heel. And then switch. And just pedal your feet a couple times. Now walk your hands and your feet toward each other, coming into your forward bend. Let your arms dangle, or you can hold on to your opposite elbows. Let the crown of your head fall heavy. You can keep your knees soft. Take a breath in through your nose and a big loud exhale through your mouth. Breath in. Big release through your mouth. And one more time, big breath in. And then big loud exhale. Take your hands on your hips and come all the way up. So we're going to find Tadasana. Feet are hip distance apart. Draw your kneecaps up towards your thighs. Take your belly button up towards your chin, and then float your shoulders down away from your back, away from your ears. All right. And then we're going to take our feet wide, and we'll turn the right toes out and the left toes slightly in. And so your right heel is going to intersect your back arch. I'm sorry, your left heel is going to intersect your back arch, or maybe just be heel to heel. Then we're going to find a block and take it outside of the left heel. And extend your arms out. Really reach through your fingertips, just like we did a little earlier. Reach and lengthen through the fingers and lift the heart. We're going to reach out over the front toes. You can take your right hand on your hip and your left hand's going to come on your block. Lift your chest. Stack your right shoulder over your left. And we're going to press into our block. Draw that left sit bone towards your right heel. And then maybe you're going to take your right arm up. Low belly draws up towards your chin. Press into your block. Lift your chest. See if we can get so we're going to take our left rib cage toward the right rib cage. So there's a little bit of a twist here. And maybe you can even gaze up at your hand or just straight across or just maybe down at your foot. Inhale. Exhale, come up. Bring your block with you. We're going to turn our feet in the other direction. So the right toes will point out, left toes point in and up. Arms extend out. Nice and long. Really open, lift the chest here. Root down through your feet. Inhale. Exhale, extend out over your front foot. And we're going to start with our left hand on our hip. Right hand's on the block. So work on getting the right rib cage twisting toward the left rib cage. So that's going to open the chest. It's going to get our left shoulder over the right. And again, you can stay here with your left hand, or maybe you can extend your left arm up. And then find your drishti, your gaze. You can look down at your foot, straight across, maybe up. Draw the right sit bone towards your back heel. And really press down through the feet into your mat. One more breath. And then come all the way up. Bring your feet together. Step your feet together. Come back to Tadasana. Take a breath. All right, let's step our feet apart again. Left toes are going to turn out, right toes forward. This time, bring your block on the inside of your foot. You may not need a block here. We're going to extend our arms up. Now we're going to bend into the right knee and the left knee. Left knee bends for warrior two. So again, the left heel should intersect your back arch. Now this back leg is strong. We're drawing the kneecap up toward the quads. So try not to let this leg buckle here. We really want to engage. And then we're going to reach out over our front knee. We're going to take our hand on our block. If you don't have a block, you can bring your elbow on your knee. If you have a block, you can maybe take it a little lower, just depending on your range of motion. We're going to hug the knee and the shoulder in toward each other. And just like in triangle, we're going to get the left rib cage to twist toward the right. And then maybe you can extend the top arm up. So right now we're just reaching up. So we're hugging the elbow and the shoulder in, and the right arm is up, reaching out through the shoulder blade. Variation of extended side angle. One more breath. And then we're going to use the core, reach up with our hand. We're going to come all the way up. You can bring your block with you. We're going to turn our feet around. So now the right toes are pointing out, left toes in, and then we're going to bend into our front knee for warrior two. And even gaze over your front fingers to come into the full pose. We're not here very long. Inhale. Exhale. The left hand come onto your knee, right hand on your block. Or the arm can come onto your thigh. If your hand's on a block or on the floor, hug the shoulder and knee in. And we're taking the right rib cage toward the left rib cage. So we're adding that twist. And then if it feels okay, extend your left arm up. Hug that shoulder and knee in toward each other. And maybe you can look up at your fingers, the left finger straight across. Or again, maybe just down at your foot. And then slowly come all the way up, bring your feet parallel, and step your feet together. And come to Tadasana. Take a breath here, check in. All right. So now we're going to use two blocks. So we were in Tadasana. We're going to take a step back with we'll start with our right leg. So we'll take our right leg back, left leg forward, and the hands come on our hips, square off your hips. Take your low belly in and up. Now you can bring your hands in a little closer to each other to lift your chest. Inhale, exhale, hinge forward, and then take your hands down onto your block. Or you can use a chair here. So we're keeping the chest lifted, we're drawing the left hip back, pressing the right hip forward. Inhale, lift the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. So we're not coming all the way down. We're not going to take our forehead toward our left shin. We're going to really lengthen through the spine here. So draw that left hip back, press your right hip forward. If this is easy, you can take your hands down a little bit farther. So just kind of find out where you need to have your hands. We're still keeping the chest lifted and open. Inhale, reach the crown of your head. Exhale, take the left hip toward the back. All right, now we're going to stay here if you want to, or you can slide your right hand in your block over towards your left foot. We're going to start to take the right rib cage toward the left. We're going to add a twist. So you can take your left hand on your hip, twisting over to the left. Start here, twisted triangle. And if it feels okay, you can extend your left arm up. Draw that left hip back. Now you might find it easier if you take your right foot over a footprint or so to get a little bit deeper into your twist. Because your hamstrings are probably acting here. You're probably feeling a pretty big stretch in your hamstrings. And then maybe you can look up, or don't worry so much if you can't, just look straight ahead or down at your left foot. And then we'll bring both hands down, step your feet together, hands on your hips, let's come all the way up. All right, so we'll do that on the other side. So the left leg's gonna come back, right foot forward. And it's just a leg length, it's not as far as triangle or warrior two. Then we're gonna draw that right hip back, just square off our hips. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge forward, keep the chest lifted. You can bring your hands down onto your blocks or on the mat. Again, it depends on what your range of motion is. So where one side you might have been able to go a little bit further down where your hands were on the mat, maybe one side you actually need blocks. Draw your right hip back. Press your left hip forward. Inhale, lengthen. Keep the chest lifted. Exhale, draw the right hip back. All right, now we're going to slide the left hand over, with or without your block, depending on your range of motion. We're going to start to twist over to the right. So the left ribs are twisting toward the right ribs. Draw that right hip back. Press the left hip forward, and when you're ready, if it works for your shoulders, extend the right arm up. Breathe here. If you need to, you can take a further step away with that left foot. Sometimes that makes it easier to go in the twist. One more breath, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And then bring your hands down. Step your feet together. Come into a forward bend. Stay here in your forward bend. Bring your feet about hip distance and then take your hands onto your shins. Keep the chest lifted. Take the tailbone to the edge of your mat. Half lift here. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, hands on your hips. Come all the way up. Take a breath here in Tadasana. And just notice how you feel. All right, let's take an inhale. Reach your arms up. Look at your thumbs. See if you can bring your palms together. Low belly draws up toward your chin, shoulders down away from your ears. And then as we exhale, take a swan dive forward. Chest, chin, forehead come down. Come back into that half lift. Hands onto your shins. And then exhale back into forward bend. And then step back to downward facing dog. And if down dog isn't in your practice, you can come onto your hands and knees. In down dog, pedal your feet. Press through one heel, bend the opposite knee. And then switch. You can notice that what's going on with your hamstrings. And then shift forward to plank pose. So you can stay on your knees or you can stay in full plank. Push the floor away from you, broaden across your shoulder blades. Low belly draws up towards your chin. One more breath here. And then let's all take our knees down and lower onto your belly. So start with your hands underneath your shoulders. Pick up your right foot and reach it to the edge of your mat and touch your toenails down. Pick up your left foot, reach it and touch your toenails down. So all 10 toenails are touching your mat. Chin comes to the center of your mat. Inhale here. Exhale, lift into bridge. Not bridge. Bhujangasana, cobra. I don't know where I was going with that. We're eventually going to do bridge. Inhale, lift. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Touch your toenails down. So really feel this lifting in the chest, so we're not so much dumping in the low back. That's where if you touch your toenails down, you're going to lift your knees a little bit and get a little bit more length. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Lower all the way down. Turn and look to the right. Okay, bring your chin back to center. Now you can use a strap here. So you can use your loop or you can just hold on to your strap, either one. We're going to take our hands behind our back. So I've got the loop around my wrists, and I'm going to use this, but I'll show you the other way as well. So I'm going to take my chin back to center, lift my heart just like we did in Cobra, and I'm going to squeeze the shoulder blades together. So I'm pulling my wrists into my strap to open up the chest. If you don't have a loop, you do the same thing with your hands on your strap. You're still kind of pulling them apart, but you're holding on your strap as well. And then maybe you can lift your thighs. Take the shoulders away from your ears. You should be able to shake your head no, so no tension in the neck. Inhale, take your hands toward your thighs. lift, and then come down and look to the left. Okay, so you can take one of those two. You can do Cobra, you can do Salambhasana, Locust, or if it works okay with you, we're gonna come into Dhanurasana. Bend your knees. Take your chin to the center of your mat. Lift your heart. And then reach back and find your ankles to the tops of your feet. Once you find your feet, you're gonna squeeze your shoulder blades together and kick into your hands. Flex your feet. Now maybe you can lift your thighs. Lift your heart. And then if you want to try it, you can always try it with your strap. It's not always the easiest to do. It's better to set up. Maybe this is a good one to put your loop around your feet. Hold on, I'm gonna give it a try. No, it's not gonna work. So if you want to try it, you can put the strap around your ankles. Otherwise, you're kicking into your hands, lifting your chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then come all the way down. Look to the right. Windshield wiper your legs from side to side. And then press up and back into child's pose. So you're gonna take your knees can stay together, or you can take them wide, whatever works for you, in your hips. And then rest your forehead on your mat or on a blanket for child's pose. Other options for child's is you can put a blanket between your thighs and your calves. All right, come on back up onto your hands and knees. Yeah, good. Now we're going to come up onto our knees. There's a lot of options here. We're going to come into camel pose. So you might need to pad your knees with a blanket. It's going to be a little hard on your knees. Just depends on what you have underneath your knees. So you can always have blocks here too by your heels. Start with your hands on your low back. So bring the heels of your hands in toward each other. So just like we've been doing, we're lifting the chest, we're squeezing the shoulder blades together. So we'll go with the very easiest version of this and we go from there. So low belly is going to drop toward our chin. Inhale. Exhale, we start to look up toward the ceiling. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Maybe you can walk your hands in a little closer to each other. Keep your hips over your knees. So this might be it for you. This is camel pose. If you want to go a little bit deeper, maybe you can reach back and find your blocks. Or maybe some of you can find your heels. If you do, though, you want to take your hips back over your knees. And then maybe you can look back, lift the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, keep the chest lifted. Good. Press your hips forward. And then carefully come all the way up, and then you can go back into child's. And then come back onto your hands and knees. And have a seat. So we're going to sit maybe up on the edge of a blanket. Your legs will be extended out in front of you. I happen to have blankets because I bought a bunch when I was doing my 300-hour yoga training. All of us went in and bought a bunch of stuff in quantity, so they just shred. All right, so legs out in front, and then we're going to take the the left foot into our inner thigh. All right, now we're going to take the right foot behind us. It's a little bit different than we're used to. And then we're going to walk our hands over to the left. So this right hip's going to pop up. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe you can walk your hands over a little bit more. So it's like it's called mermaid pose, for lack of other, I don't know the Sanskrit. And then maybe you can walk your hands a little bit further back. So you're adding the twist here. And then if it feels okay, you can bend your elbows like you're going to do a push-up and lower down. The right hip will pop way up. And then carefully come up. Walk your hands back to center. And we'll switch our legs around. So the right foot will come in. The left foot comes over to the outside of your hip. And if that doesn't work, you can keep the leg extended. I should have said that on the other side. We're going to walk our hands over to the right. So again, this left hip pops up. And this might be it. We're adding a twist here. Maybe you can walk your hands a little bit further back behind you. And if you want, you can bend your elbows and lower down like you're doing a push-up. And then walk back to center. Bring both legs back out in front. And then let's bend your knees and lower back down onto your back. Keep your strap nearby. We're going to take the strap underneath our legs, right at the top of the legs. Walk your heels in towards your butts. And then you're going to extend your arms long. Lift the chest. Now you can turn your palms up and find your strap. So your thumbs are pointing out to the edges of your mat. And you might even be able to scoot your hands in a little closer to each other in a sec. Walk your heels back in or root down through the soles of your feet. Really establish your foundation. Now lift your hips into bridge. Now we're in bridge. Pick up the right shoulder, walk it underneath your chest. Pick up the left shoulder, walk it underneath your chest. So the chest is lifted. We're squeezing the shoulder blades. Root down through the soles of your feet. Now take your belly button towards your chest. And you can even kind of pull on your strap. Pull to the right, pull to the left. You're kind of on your triceps at this point. Lift your hips. Lift your chest. Walk the shoulders underneath your chest. Can you lift a little bit higher? You might even be able to come up onto your tippy toes. And then we'll come down slow. Upper back, middle back, lower back. And just windshield wiper your knees from side to side. You can move the strap out of the way. All right. So hug your knees up to your chest. Let's take the right knee over the left. So we did this earlier. Notice the difference when we're on our backs. A little bit different, a little easier. Right knee over your left. Hug your knees in. Maybe if that's easy, you can take your hands down by your ankles. You're going to pull the legs apart a little bit more. And maybe you can take your knees over to the left. Just going a little bit deeper into that right hip, into your piriformis. And breathe. Keep your chest lifted. And then uncross. Switch sides. Left knee is going to come over the right. Hug your knees in. Hug them in. Maybe just stay here. Flex your feet. If it feels okay, you can reach down, find your ankles, and kind of pull them apart. And then slightly take your legs over to the right. Breathe deeply. uncross. All right, let's take our arms out to the sides. Pick up your hips, scoot them over to the right. Let's cross our right leg over your left. And then we'll take our knees over to the left. Pick up the left shoulder, scoot the right shoulder down, and keep the chest open and lifted. Try to keep that right shoulder down. And then if you can, maybe you can scoot your knees a little bit closer to the left shoulder. You can even take your left hand onto your right knee if you want to deepen the twist. Your gaze can just be straight up at the ceiling. And bring your knees up, uncross. Take your hips over to the left. Cross the left over the right. Arms extend out. We're going to take our knees over to the right. Now pick up the right shoulder, scoot the left shoulder down. Try to get both shoulders down on the mat. Keep the chest lifted. And maybe you can slide that right knee up. Even take your right hand onto your left leg to deepen that stretch. You're going to feel this a little bit more in that piriformis. The more you slide your knees up. And then bring your knees back up. Uncross. Hug your knees back into your chest. Take your forehead up to your knees. Give yourself a big hug. And then we're going to find Shavasana. So lots of options. Again, you guys know this. We've been doing this for a while now. You can put your legs up on a chair or your couch. You can roll up a blanket and put a blanket underneath your knees or blocks. You can bend your knees and knock your knees together. But you want to be comfortable. So it's not anything where you have to, you don't want to have any pose where you're forcing it. This is the most important pose. We just want to be able to let everything go here. It might even be nice if it's cool in your home to cover up with a blanket or put some socks on. Okay, good. So then once you're all settled in, just scan your body. Notice if there's anything that you're still holding on to. And if so, send your breath there. Just see if you can let that go. Relax your fingers, relax your toes. And then let your entire body just release and let go. So like I said, this is the most important pose, just letting everything go here. I'll ring the chimes 3 times when it's time to come back out of your rest. So don't even worry about that. Just let everything go. You begin to awaken your body, start to bring movement into your fingers and your toes. Deepen your breath. Reach your arms overhead, get a big stretch. Maybe even yawn. And then at your own pace, make your way over to one side. And then come up to a comfortable seated position. Just sit here for a few more minutes or moments with your eyes closed. Just notice how you feel. Maybe feeling a little longer. Come. Sorry, sit. Maybe feeling a little bit longer. Maybe a little more open. She wants to go outside. We'll finish there. Okay, let's take our hands to our heart center. Take this time to thank yourself for all these great things that you're doing, not just for your mind or your body, but your spirit as well. And let's thank all of our friends for sharing in this practice, sharing their energy with us this morning, from near and far. I thank you so much for letting me guide you in your practice. May we have peace within ourselves so we can spread peace and love into the world. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. You can unmute yourselves now if you want. I'm going to stop recording.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen.
my house came